Okay, hello everyone. This is another study under the social approach. Okay, talking about the study of Fagen et al. Elephant learning. All right. Well, personally, I think I like elephants. They're very big, okay, and they're gentle, they're reserved. So I like elephants. All right. Um, Moving forward, why people train pets? Now, why do you think people train pets? Number one, to encourage good behavior. Okay, training help pets learn acceptable actions, all right, like following commands or avoid destructive habits, all right, just to be able to train them. Okay, another one is to strengthen bonding, all right. Training builds trust and understanding. Okay, when you train pets, it helps them to build trust, it helps them to build understanding, improving their relationship with the owners. Another one is to ensure safety. People also train pets to be able to avoid certain danger at a particular point in time. All right. So moving forward, how to train your pet. Okay, use positive reinforcement. We spoke about positive reinforcement already. Okay. It also I spoke about it in the Mandura video. Okay, so it's basically reward good behavior with treats, with praise, with playtime, or some other thing that are beneficial to the subject. All right. Okay, and also keep training short and fun. Don't make training very long for them. It might be complex, so just make sure it's fun for them, for pets, and then it's also short. Another one is to be patient and adaptable, understand your pet's personality and learning pace, and adjust your approach as deem fit. Okay, so this is a video. I'll be playing the video though, but just to move through for the benefit of those online. Okay, so this is an elephant. Look at any elephant just to get to know more about them. All right. Okay, human brain and then elephant brain. Can you see the difference? It's very big, really big. All right. Okay. Yeah, just to know more about elephant. Okay. Yeah, look at this very big elephant. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, what can scare elephant? All right. So there was a particular it was a mouse. Yeah. Yeah. It was a mouse. Okay. He walked in between the elephant and then they were all scared. All right. Even the mouse too was scared, and then the elephants too were scared of that small tiny thing. All right. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that break. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, looking at the exposures elephants have, see how powerful they can be. Okay, trying to pull the car out the bus. Okay, see how powerful they can be. All right, how do you train them then? Okay, just to learn to know more about elephants. So I do play this video for my student. Okay, yeah, this is also another video trying to train an elephant how to beat a drum. Do you think that is possible? Well, look at it, playing the drum in the presence of the elephant. Okay, and then the elephant also try to simulate the behavior. Okay, drawing, pulling it closer. I mean, animals can actually be fun too. You can see, all right, trying to beat the drum. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, key terms. All right, in the study, there is something called free contact. All right, in elephant training, it involves trainers interacting directly with elephants in the same space without barriers. All right, there is no cage, there is no fence, no boundaries. You have free contact with the elephant. Okay, that is what is called free contact. All right. What about protected contact? In elephant training, it involves training interacting with elephant through a barrier. You can see for this. All right. There is a barrier. There is a wall separating the people from the elephant. Okay. All right. That is protected contact. Now, traditional elephant training. Okay, this involves the use of physical tools like bull hooks, chains, or sharp objects, along with dominance-based technique. So the person controlling, which is known as the mouth in this study, all right. Okay, they are also referred to as mouths in Nepal. All right, so they are basically using punishment as a method of training elephants. So using chains, things like that, harsh object on them just to train them and then to make them comply to a certain behavior. So, but however, there is a form of distress, okay, causes stress and harm to the elephant in the process of training them. So that is the traditional elephant training method. Okay. I think this is an example, right? Okay, that's an elephant. Okay, now for this study, see, they're trying to clean the elephant. So, all right, these ones are good. I mean, they're trying to train them very well. Okay, feeding the elephant, ensuring they're okay. All right, so they want to clean the feet. They've trained the elephants to always do that, and then they clean. All right, so you see, the elephant obey a particular command, and it's actually wonderful to see how the elephant can respond to cues. Once they understand certain cues and they're able to read them, they're actually intelligent. Okay, and then they will be able to behave accordingly. You see, all right. So trying to feed the elephant. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so another keyword is the maut. Is a person responsible for the care, training, and management of elephants, particularly in Asian countries. Okay, the term refers to individuals working with elephants in settings like zoos, circuses, or elephant farms. All right, okay. So another one is the reinforcement and punishment, the positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment and negative punishment. So these are all examples of operant conditioning. Okay, so positive reinforcement increases the target behavior by adding something desirable. Okay, you reinforce the behavior. This one, you also reinforce the behavior, but by taking something away. Negative reinforcement increases the target behavior by taking away something aversive, something that you do not like. You take it away. You know that each time you take your bath, you avoid contacting germs or something like that. All right, so that is negative reinforcement. All right, you tend to take your bath over and over again because you're trying to avoid something negative. All right, so the positive punishment involves addition of aversive punishment like cane, scold. You're adding something that is not pleasurable. Okay, but negative punishment involves the removal of a desirable stimulus to decrease behavior. So you're trying to decrease behavior and then you try to take away something desirable. So each time you do this thing, I'm going to confiscate your gain. All right. So you're trying to discourage the behavior by taking something good away. All right. Okay. So secondary positive reinforcement, that is SPR. What is that? Okay. Primary reinforcement involves using a natural or unlearned reinforcer. Okay. Reinforcer that you do not need to learn before you know it's good. Okay. But actually you learn them, but it's already good. Okay, for example, a child saying cookies. Okay, a child knows that cookies are good. All right, so you give such to a child after exercising a particular behavior. All right, the child. Hmm, sorry, I was just wondering in my mind why why this picture why this picture is here. I wonder why I left this picture. I could have changed it. All right, so but then that is by the way. Okay, so secondary reinforcement involves using a learned or conditioned stimulus. All right. So a particular stimulus that you have learned, you learn through association. Okay, let's say for example, each time you behave well in the class, I'm going to give you a tag. So if you have the tag now, the tag will we award you a mark in your exam. All right. So you have learned that the tag will award you something beneficial. So the tag itself is nothing to you, right? So the tag itself is just it's just there. Okay. But the fact that you've learned that okay, the tag is something beneficial now, that um it could allow you get access to certain things, certain benefits. Okay. Maybe if you do something, you're gonna get a particular card, and then that card with it you can go shopping at maybe a popular shopping mall. All right, so then you can associate the benefit of the card, the benefit you get to that particular card. So the card itself is a secondary reinforcement, and then the benefit, what is beneficial to you, is the primary reinforcement. Okay, move on from there. Now, background. Traditional elephant. Just a few moments. Okay, so traditional elephant training method rely on punishment. Okay, what about reinforcement? You know, they never did that. Now, punishment and aversion techniques use an aversive stimulus such as pain or fear of pain to elicit avoidance behavior. Okay, in traditional Southeast Asian method, elephants are trained using the kocha. So kocha is a withered bamboo stick with a sharp end to inflict pain. So kocha is that withered bamboo stick. I believe you know bamboo stick. All right. So if you don't know, you can quickly check it online. What is a bamboo stick? So the um adjust, or let me say mold it in a way that it has this sharp end to be able to inflict pain on the elephant. Okay, so still on the background. In Nepal, captive elephant management utilizes traditional training method involving unlimited contact, that is free contact between handlers and trainers. Okay, all right. So the protected contact system improved keeper safety. So you're safe if there's a protected barrier between you, or let me say protection between you, that is a barrier. Ensure the safety of the person. All right, maintaining a barrier between the antler and elephant, relying solely on positive reinforcement or reward based training. So instead of the tradition, it's now being converted to what? Positive reinforcement training method, not using punishment now, and also the free contact changing to protected contact. All right, now in protected contact, a distinctive sound markers is usually, or let me say, is used to form a positive reinforcement. So the sound marker, don't forget, we spoke about something like classical conditioning when you have secondary reinforcer. So secondary reinforcer is more like a classical conditioning system. The secondary reinforcer, just like I said earlier, is not really the exact result you want, but the fact that that secondary reinforcer can get you that exact reward, then it's good. All right, it's also a reinforcer. All right, now the sound marker is okay. There is a food that will be given to the elephant. All right, but then before the food will be given to them, there is that sound marker, like a form of praise, and then you give them food. Okay, so the sound, like maybe a whistle, all right, is acting as a secondary reinforcer here. Okay, now secondary positive reinforcement SPR training involves using a sound marker followed by a primary reinforcer, typically food, to reinforce desired behavior. Okay, now after conditioning, the sound marker precisely signals the moment the animal performed the expected behavior. So if the animal is doing what you want the animal to do, now when you make the sound, yeah, that is it, a form of praise. So the animal stops there. That, okay, I think this is what they want me to do. All right. So offering more accuracy than food reward alone. So if you're giving food at all time, the elephant might not necessarily be able to identify or understand that, okay, that is the exact reason. But when you blow whistle, it's like, okay, that is the exact point. I guess food also has a way of distracting the elephant from the entire thing you're trying to do. So, but then when you just sound the whistle, the elephant know, okay, the fact that I can hear the whistle, all right, so that is what they want me to do. Okay, once the behavior is reliable, the sound markers can be gradually stopped and food treat can be given at intervals to keep the behavior going. All right, so they give the food at intervals, not necessarily every time. Okay, now operant conditioning, uh, a type of learning where behavior is influenced. That is one of the psychology being investigated, please. The type of learning where behavior is influenced by its consequences. If a behavior is followed by a positive outcome, it's reinforcement. If it is followed by a negative outcome, okay, then it's going to be punishment. All right. So positive reinforcers are the things you use to reinforce. It can be in terms of food, praise, and whatever other things, rewards. Okay, so what is the aim of the study? Now, to see whether free contact traditionally trained elephant can be trained to participate in a trunk wash. Now, these are free contact elephants. They've been trained using free contact and then they were trained using the traditional method. Now, to see if this type of elephant now can be trained now to participate in what we know to be trunk wash, okay, for the purpose of tuberculosis testing by using positive reinforcement. So there is this sickness, okay, that is actually rampant around that period of time. So they want the elephants to be able to engage in trunk wash activity, to be able to wash their trunk and cleanse it. You understand? So it's an hygienic um, activity for them. So, but you know, elephants naturally will not do that themselves. So we need to train them to be able to do that, to be able to do the trunk wash, and then not to waste the solution. All right. So okay, so that's generally the thing. Now, also using positive reinforcement. Okay, sample. You have 5 female elephants that were used. Right, they are animals. Animals, you do not necessarily have to use a lot of them. All right, so use the fewest number possible. All right, so they used 5 female elephants. Now, 4 of the 5 elephant subjects, number 1 to 4, were 5 to 7-year-old juvenile. They were still young elephants. All right, so 5 to 7-year-old elephant is still a young one. All right, okay, who were born at the steppe. All right, they were born at that exact location and not in the wild. Okay, the remaining elephant, who happens to be the last one, the fifth one, was an adult female elephant. Okay, is estimated to be around 50s. Okay, 50s, while whereas others are between 5 to 7. So please keep this information about the sample in your mind. All right, now the facility staff selected the elephant based on their docility, okay, absence of pregnancy, or current calves, okay, and the willingness of their handlers, mahouts, to participate in the study. All right, so the particular handler, is he willing to participate in the study? Is he going to come bring his elephant to participate in the studies? Okay, is the elephant pregnant or not? All right, is does the pregnant elephant have calves, okay, younger ones or not? Okay, so these are the conditions that we looked into. Now, all selected elephants had been trained using traditional method before now. All right, and then they had no prior secondary positive reinforcement training before the time. Okay, so this is what the sample is like. Okay, yeah, this is a table. You can use this table to memorize the content. Okay, Yeah, estimated 50 years, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7. All right, now procedure used. Elephants grazed in the jungle with their mouths from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Please, the procedure, I've actually seen a question around this, I think in recent exam question. Okay, so please pay attention to it. So the time they actually gives 5 a.m. in the morning. So maybe you can try to familiarize that with the time. Probably you wake up in the morning, and then what time do you get to school? Maybe 7. So between the time you wake up in the morning and the time you get to school, the elephant will go and um, graze, all right, in the jungle around this period. All right, so and then what time again? 10:30 to 4 p.m. So over here, I think I can familiarize that by looking at from the short break to the closing hour of the school activity. All right, so then they will go graze again. So from 7 to 10:30, they come back to the stable. All right, so now for the rest of the day, at night they were chained to post in open store. All right, so for the rest of the day, aside this period, they were chained, and then when they were chained, they would go through the experiment. So the time they had to go to eat, it's actually ensuring that okay, the training did not take enough of the too much time, such that it affected their eating time. All right. Okay. Now leg chains were typically placed around both front legs and a single front leg. Okay. Okay. Let me take it again. Placed around both front leg and a single front leg with a chain. Okay. Both front leg or a single front leg, not and please, or a single front leg with a chain about 6 to 8 feet long, all right, which is approximately 1.8 meters to 2.4 meters long. So, which, sorry about that, which means that that is how far they can move away from the chain spot. Now, long connecting the elephant to a post. Okay, this allowed the elephant to move around 6 to 8 foot circle around the post. Okay, the elephant's diet mainly included fresh grasses and dana, which are packets of grains, nutritional supplements, and grasses. Okay. Now, the elephants could drink water from the river while grazing, but they were not given water at other time except during training. All right. So when they were grazing, they could drink water in the jungle, but when they come back, they don't give them water anymore. All right. So they won't be drinking the solvent when giving them. You understand? Maybe they might think, oh, they're giving us water again, whereas they're just trying to train them. They didn't give them water except for when training them, except during the time of training. Okay. Now, these care conditions were the usual practice at the stable and were not changed during the course of the study. All right. Now, the training method used in this study was solely the SPR technique, secondary positive reinforcement. The primary reinforcer was chopped banana, which is the food, with the secondary reinforcer being a short whistle blow. Okay, you know what a short whistle blow is? I don't know how to do that right now. Okay, but it's fine. It's not important. Just imagine a football match, you're about to start. What does the referee do? Ooh, like that. Okay. Now, training took place during morning and afternoon sessions, okay, between 7:30 and 10 a.m. Don't forget, what time do they graze? Can you remember that? The elephant, they graze between 5, when you probably wake up, and 7 when you get to school, so that the time they eat, and then they come back to the store, and then the train between 7:30 and 10. And then what happened after that? They go for grazing again at 10:30 to 4 p.m. and then the train again from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. All right. Why the elephants were changed to their stall? Okay. Not every elephant was trained in each session due to time constraint. Okay, each session they had like this between this period and then this period. Not elephant was trained during each session due to time and the availability of mahouts. Maybe, for example, some of their mahouts might not be present. Each elephant has its mahout, someone responsible for that elephant. So they all bring them together in a particular location, and then those that wanted to instill the training in them, they will be there. So if the mahout is not available, then they won't be able to access, the experimenter will not be able to access the elephant. I mean, just the elephant will be there, but they won't move close, in the sense that trying to train without the mahout present. All right. Okay. So procedure in training: elephants could show a clear preference not to participate in training session by walking to the other side of the stall or turning away from the trainer. So if the elephant does that, then that is right to withdraw. Okay, if you don't want to train, then it's fine, it's cool. Okay, mouths were present at all sessions. Okay, every session they ensure that the mouths were there. Now, standing on the periphery for the trainer's safety. Okay, however, they were instructed not to speak to or signal the elephant in any way to ensure the training remained unbiased. So the mouth do not communicate with the elephant. So let the trainer train the elephant to ensure that, okay, the elephant is getting what the trainer is doing, not necessarily because there are certain cues that the mouth has with the elephant that will improve the level of understanding. So let it be everything coming from the trainer. Okay. The elephant was required to place the tip of our trunk, okay, in the trainer's hand. Okay. Now, allow a saline or sterile water to be instilled into the trunk. Can you see that? So you place the trunk on the hand. I believe you understand the elephant's trunk, right? That is more like, I think, the nose, right? Maybe you want to call it the nose. That long hose they move around with. They use it to hold things and put in the mouth and the likes. All right, so they are supposed to place the same thing the elephant was using to beat the drum earlier. All right, good. Okay, so the elephant was supposed to place that on the palm of the trainer, and then the trainer will instill the saline solution, saline water, into the trunk, and then the elephant will lift that trunk up so that the saline solution will be able to flush down the trunk to the end of the trunk, and then the elephant is not supposed to drink that. The elephant will then flush it out. Okay, you lower the tip into a container and then you blow out the water into that container. It's as simple as that. So the water moving in and out the trunk is going to wash the trunk so that the trunk will be clean. Do you know how elephants also drink water? All right, they drink with the trunk. They try to inhale the water through the trunk and then the blow it into their mouth. All right. So, and then if the trunk is already dirty, unclean, then it needs to be washed. All right. So that is the process. Now, all of this task, I was just imagining, do you think it would have been easier to wash the trunk if not for this procedure? I think it's really a good way to ensure the elephant's safety. Now, all of these tasks had to be performed smoothly in order, okay, in a subsequent order, so that none of the fluid was spilled on the ground and the elephant did not drink the solution. The elephant must not drink the solution and it must not be spilled. All right. So training started by teaching the elephant to connect the primary and secondary reinforcer. Now, this was done by pairing the whistle blow with the banana reward repeatedly. So the ability of the elephant to be able to pair that is also classical conditioning. Okay, pair those two things together, that those two things were in form of praising them. They were positive things. All right, the elephants were then trained in basic tasks using simple training technique such as capture, lure, and shaping. We're going to explain that in detail. Now, the capture technique involves waiting for the animal to naturally perform the behavior, then marking and rewarding that behavior repeatedly. So you wait until the animal actually performs that. Then once you see it, you try to reward it. You try to blow the whistle that, oh, this animal has done this thing. Yeah, that's what I want. So you capture the behavior. Another one is luring. Okay, the lure technique involves drawing the animal into a desired body position. You draw the animal into that position by placing a reward strategically Okay, either you put the thing here or you put the thing here until the animal is able to do that. Okay, so when the animal is able to execute that particular position that you want, all right, it is rewarded. So once it's rewarded, in a way, the animal says that, okay, this is what you wanted it to do. All right. So that's another way of capturing each behavior we want to execute. All right. Another one is shaping. Shaping involves rewarding behavior that are close to the desired goals. All right. So the behavior is close. Yeah, that's good. All right. It uses the natural variation in the quality of behavior and reward only those that are progressively closer to the target. So this one, it is the behavior that are close that you begin to reward until, yeah, that is good. You begin to praise until the elephant is able to get the exact behavior. So over time, this encourages the animal to offer behavior that are more closely aligned with the desired outcome. So don't forget three method: capture, lure, and shaping. Okay, so these are the different behaviors that were captured. Number one, we have the trunk hair position. So what is trunk hair position? The end of the trunk is placed uh, on the outstretched palm of the trainer. That is trunk hair position with um, on the side ventral, that is ventral side of the trunk touching the trainer's palm. Okay, yeah, so you place the trunk on the palm of the trainer. That's trunk hair. Okay, now trunk up, the end of the trunk is raised upward. Okay, all right, either loosely or curled, with the top of the trunk gently touching the elephant's forehead. All right, I believe you understand that. You raise the trunk up and then you try to either you curl the trunk or to touch the elephant's top head, or you just raise it up like that. Okay, um or held straight up and outward. So the exact height or angle of the trunk is not measured. Okay, all right, another one is the bucket. Yeah, the tip of the trunk is gently placed inside the bucket. All right, so that is the bucket behavior. All right, another one is blow. The elephant exhales sharply and forcefully through its trunk. That is another behavior that was needed for this particular trunk wash activity. So all these behaviors were needed. Now another one is steady, to remain in a particular position. So the elephant keep the trunk in the requested position. All right. So they were training all this behavior, all right, in a required position, either trunk air here or trunk down or trunk out. Okay, while it can move its feet. You can move your feet, but ensure that the trunk doesn't move. All right, you can move your ears, you can move your head, you can move your tail, you can move your body slightly as long as the trunk stays still in the same position. Now, another one is syringe. The elephant holds the trunk still in the trunkier position, okay, that is placing the trunk on the palm of the trainer so that the distilled end of the catheter tip syringe can be placed inside the trunk's nostrils, okay, so that you can place you can insert the syringe into the nostril. Now, up to 60 meter of saline solution of water is then instilled into the trunk. So 60 millimeter, um, that is like okay, a bottle of Coca-Cola. You can have some around 50. Okay, that's around that's 50 cl. Okay, yeah. If you are familiar with measurement, then you can try and just imagine 60 millimeter, okay, of saline solution of in the nostril of the elephant's trunk. Now another one is blow into bucket. All right, so the elephant places the distilled end of the trunk into the bucket and gives a strong sharp exhale, all right, through the trunk. So you blow it into the bucket. Now the first one was just blow, you exhale sharply, but this one in particular is blow into bucket. All right, now the trunk down position. The trunk is held in a relaxed position that is facing the ground. I mean, relaxed, just there. Okay. hanging loosely towards the ground. Right. Now, trunk out, the trunk is held stretched straight outward, roughly parallel to the ground. So, like if the elephant is standing this way, facing here, so you just in a horizontal direction. So you just stretch out the trunk in a horizontal direction. That is trunk out. Okay. And then targeting, the elephant moves so that the center of its forehead touches the end of the targeting stick. Okay, placed at forehead level. All right, so the elephant moves so that the center of its forehead touches the end of the targeting stick. This at the forehead level. All right, so you try to put the stick at the forehead, the level of the elephant's head. So the elephant moves so that the center of its forehead actually touches that stick. Okay, so all this behavior were to form those that activity, which is trunk wash. All right, so you can see an example of how they eat. They try to hold things with this and then they put it in their mouth. Okay, now the trainer only added a verbal cue after the elephant performed the specific task. If you're able to do it, then they're able to. This is the verbal cue. This is trunk here. This is trunk out. This is trunk down. This is a blow. This is trunk here. All those things. The cues were short, distinct word that had no meaning in either English or Neptali. All right. So the cues that the trainer used, they were not English words. They were not they were not in the language of Nepal people. That is Nepali. Okay. Why was that? This was done to prevent the Maut from mistakenly thinking that the elephant could understand the meaning of the verbal cues. All right. That is just so that the Maut won't mistake that the elephants understand the meaning of those words. Okay. Now, three other tasks, which is targeting, trunk down, and trunk out, were introduced to some or all of the elephants, but were soon abandoned or given less focus because the trunk out is not really important, the trunk down is not really important, the targeting, placing a stick so that the elephant move close to it and touch the stick with its forehead is not really important as well. Okay, as they were not necessarily for performing the trunk wash in this group of elephants. Okay, yeah. Once the elephant mastered the five basic behavior, the trainer started linking them using behavioral chaining. That is, you try to align the behavior together. The technique enables the elephant to perform each behavior in sequence, responding to cues one after the other. All right. So first, the elephant was trained to blow into the bucket. Okay, this is water. Take it and then blow to the bucket. Now, consistently by pairing the cue bucket with the action of blowing, right? Bucket and blowing, then you blow into the bucket. Now, so this is the process of pairing. The elephant was rewarded for blowing into the bucket, and the behavior was then refined to ensure the elephant blew only into the center of the bucket and not just at the side. Okay. Next, the elephant was taught to link the other behaviors together in small sequences to ensure smooth transitions. Okay, so they were linking the different behaviors together to form a full entire behavior. All right, initially the separate behaviors were combined in different ways, and then the elephant practiced multiple behavior sequence, each representing section a particular section of the trunk wash behavior. All right, so it's actually a long procedure because they train the elephant in a particular and strategic way. Now, during the sequence, the trainer marks the behavior at the right moment and then gave the primary reinforcer at the end of each sequence. All right, so they were given the chopped bananas. Now, let me just try to flip through this quickly. Now, once the behavior became reliable, the syringe and sample fluid were introduced using desensitization and counter conditioning. All right, so when they were able to learn those behavior now, they started to introduce the fluid, that is the saline solution. That is the saline basically talks about salty water. All right. The trainer introduced the syringe while the elephant was in the trunkier position, You place the trunk in the palm and then you insert the liquid. All right. And this was always followed by a full chain of trunk wash behavior. So after that, you have to raise the trunk up. The elephant was rewarded for staying in the trunk hair position. So if you do that, it's good. All right. As the syringe was presented and gradually moved closer to the trunk tip until contact was made. Good. Okay, the trainer gradually progressed from touching the outside of the trunk tip to the syringe to touching the inside. So all these are just the procedure. Now, over time, small amounts of fluid were introduced into the trunk, starting with just a drop and then gradually ranging from 1 to 15 all the way to the full 60 milliliters of fluid needed for sample collection. Now, all elephants initially used 0.9% saline, that is 9%, 0.9% of salt in the entire content, right? As the sample medium then transitioned to plain water for training, all right? So they initially used this for training and then they now moved to only water for training. At the start of each training session, each elephant was given water to drink, all right, to minimize the chances that the elephant would drink the solution so they won't be thirsty, all right? One elephant preferred the saline solution over the water, so that is, and will continue drinking the saline solution after refusing the offered water. So she was quickly switched to using water as the sample medium, as her success rate improved significantly with the change. Okay, due to individuality of each elephant and varying learning speed, there was no set time for each stage of training. All right, so there were individual differences basically. All right, so progression depend on each elephant's success. So now data collection. Now session time, an assistant recorded the duration of each training session. All right, starting from the first cue and ending after the elephant respond to the final cue. All right, if the section could not be accurately timed due to lack of personnel or missing data point, the average duration for the elephant session was used to fill in the missing data. All right, so there were other sessions where the elephants they couldn't engage in training, so but then they calculated the average duration. Okay, now so numbers of offers in each session, an assistant counted how many times the elephant was given a cue for a specific behavior, recording this as the number of offer for that behavior. Okay, now during the sensitization and the initial stage, so basically um how many offer does the how many hints does the elephant need before he actually um displayed the behavior required? Okay, so performance test starting after session 10, a test was administered to each elephant approximately every 5 sessions. Okay, after session 10, 15, 20, etc. All right, which allowed for some flexibility. Tests were not administered until after session 10 because the author anticipated that a few sessions would be needed for the elephant to understand the training methodology. So okay, so and then also important at each test session, elephants were tested on all the previous behavior that had been taught, with the passing score token to be 80%. If you're able to do it correctly, the elephant is able to do it correctly for about 80% accuracy, then or higher for each task. That is 8 or more correct out of 10 offers. Okay, around the sessions, then that will be good. Okay, performance test. If an elephant had not been taught a behavior, it was not tested. And the elephant received a default score of 0% in the records. Okay, if that hadn't been tested, whether a behavior response during the test was considered a pass was determined by the trainer based on whether the response was of sufficient quality or function in the trunk wash or not. So if an elephant achieved an 80% success rate or higher in a sequence of tasks, all those things, it was considered a pass. It's good for the entire sequence as well as for each individual. Okay, let me just try to move quickly. All right, this study actually has a lot of detail. Now, each individual behavior within the sequence was assigned a separate default pass score of 90, representing the median pass. So if you did it well, all right, or at least 90% pass, okay, then it's good. All right, representing median passing range between 80 and 100. Okay. If an elephant received a default pass on any individual task, it was not retested individually. However, if an elephant failed to pass a sequence of behavior, each task or shorter sequence within that sequence will be restated. So it's just basically that, okay, you might be able to do the trunk here position well, but you might not be able to do others well. But at least if you're able to do others to a certain degree, okay, that is around 80%, then it's fine. But if you're unable to do it to that expectation, then you will be retrained. You will do it again. Okay. If, for example, the elephant has been doing it very well, but when it gets to the blowing in the bucket uh, command and he's not doing it well at all, then it will be retrained. It will be done again. Okay, so the steady and trunk down behavior were the only behavior continually tested separately. So steady position, maybe it was difficult for some elephants to remain steady. Okay, and then do not forget that when you put their trunk on the palm of the trainer, they have to remain steady. When they raise it up for the solution to move down the trunk, all right, they need to also remain steady. All right. So the trunk down behavior where the elephant relaxes her trunk, okay, all right, was not part of the sequence required. So that one was not needed though. Okay. Uh, the steady behavior was tested by requesting a hold and three position. Okay, you need it in the trunk up, you need it in the trunk down, and then you need it in the trunk here. But the trunk down was not really important. Okay. Training was considered completed and concluded when an elephant had a passing rate of 80% or greater on the full trunk wash. Okay, regardless of the passing rate for the trunk down and steady behavior. Okay, because this trunk down is not necessarily though, but the steady behavior is important anyway. Okay, so result, we have a 5 sample. Now, the 4 juvenile elephants all successfully learned the trunk wash in the time available for the study, while the adult elephant did not. That was the problem. Okay, look at it. 20 sessions, 25, 30, 35, 40. So after this session, this elephant was able to learn. All right. Now, total timing of training for each elephant during the course of all sessions. Okay, elephant 1 is the uh, time of training required. That's 373 minutes. Okay, how many hours do we have in that? That's more than 6 hours. Elephant 2 add less time. Okay, so the time required, and then for elephant 5. All right, so the mean percentage of correct responses, overall passing rate for all tasks was calculated for each test session. Okay, how they were able to respond correctly. Okay, participants dropout began after session 25 as elephants completed their training. So the second elephant completed its training after 25. Okay. Okay, so see the percentage, the percentage, the percentage. So when it got to 25, all right, the began to exhibit 86% correct behavior, 30, okay. The error bar represents the standard error. That is not important. Okay, now the main percentage refer to the average of all offers made for each of the basic behavior. Okay, now the sensitization, that is trying to put the hand in the nostril and then trying to now insert the syringe in the nostril. Okay, blow in the bucket, blow, bucket, trunk here, trunk down. All right. Okay. Okay. The main percentage refers to the average of all offers made for each of the basic behavior tasks required to pass the performance test. Okay, so these are the different numbers of offers that were shown to the, or let me say different times, whether the tasks are performed in isolation or in combination. All right, before they pass, these are the different offers they add, different sessions they add all across the different behavior. Okay, and all elephants successfully passed all the tests for the individual task, either before or during the final test session, with a few exceptions. Okay, elephant 5 never passed the blow into the bucket, never passed the sensitization to the syringe and the steady test. Okay, elephants 2 and 4 also never passed their steady test, although they were able to pass their full trunk wash test. But the steady test, they had issue with that. All right. So the ability to pass an individual behavior test depends on both the relative difficulty of the task and when the task was first introduced in the training session. So those were factors that influence the ability to pass the test. Okay, conclusion. The study demonstrates that it is feasible to train juvenile pre-contact traditionally trained elephants in Nepal who have no prior experience to SPR, okay, to voluntarily participate in trunk wash using exclusively SPR technique. All right, so it is possible. The elephant responded reliably, and the process of teaching new tasks was efficient. All right, so could be a valuable tool for captive management program worldwide, enhancing behavioral management, promoting animal health through voluntary and veterinary participation. Okay, so that was the result. That was it. It was just a hygiene-based study just to see if it was possible to train elephant, and then it was possible. However, for elephant 5, it could also be due to age factor. All right. Okay. Elephant 5 wasn't able to um, successfully learn the trunk wash activity. Okay, evaluation, experiment. Okay, um, what was good about it? Well, um, this is not necessarily okay. It was also like it was an experiment. Okay, it was done in okay. That is not necessarily the forest, so it is a natural environment. It's an artificial environment. Okay, generally, what it was good about this those aspects is that you're able to control other things. Okay, things were not just happening randomly. All right, you're able to ensure that okay, um, this is the kind of water the elephants were taking. This is the content. You're able to train them effectively using different signals, controlling other variables that could have affected them. All right, and that is good. Okay, to show that okay the ability of the elephants to learn was actually because they could learn, all right, and then the only elephant that couldn't learn, all right, um it couldn't learn because of probably the age difference. Okay, you controlled every other variables, you it was okay, cool. And then what else? Okay, it was also I'm getting tired gradually. Okay, it was also in an artificial environment, so the behavior might not necessarily replicate um, the real behavior of the elephants in the wild. Okay, all right. So these are elephants that were trained for a particular period of time that have been trained by humans. Okay, and then elephants. We have elephants that are actually in the wild. You know, we might not be able to categorically tell if elephants are able to learn this behavior such. Okay, yeah, but however, also stopping the mouths and from introducing any signs. Okay, those are ways they try to control the experiment, they control the variables. Okay, data, the ability to perform the thing. Okay, so it was basically observation, and they were recording the ability to successfully perform that. Okay, so that is qualitative data, because they are to interpret whatever um, the whatever the elephant did, and then they needed to grade it based on how successful it was. Okay, on percentage. So there is a possibility that the experimenter might have not accurately um, analyzed the behavior effectively well. Who knows? All right. So in one way or the other, and then also the fact that you were just reading um, the results, just looking at 80%, 90%. Well, that is qualitative there. All right. Another factor to note is that you do not necessarily know the reason behind, or let me say, what was going through the mind of the elephants when they were doing the behavior. Okay, so but then generally, since these are animals, we have limited things to talk about, since they are not humans. Okay, but one thing to note is that we have a lot to say about in the ethics. All right, for validity. All right, validity, nothing much important, but you can easily replicate the study. All right, the measurement, the behavior, they were all coded. All right, so you can talk about all those things. It enhances your replicability. Okay, which also increases validity if it's reliable. Okay, what about the sample? The sample, okay, it's small. Obviously, animals has to be small. All right, as animals have to be small. Okay, so but then it doesn't necessarily reflect the behavior of all the um, elephants out there. And another thing is they used juvenile of 5 to 7, and then an adult of 50. All right, so the age range between 7 and 49, you don't know what their behavior will be like. Okay, so for the ethic, all right, so they were grazing at 5 to 7, and 10:30 to 4. So that is good. That is actually good. All right, so um, yeah, so they had access to food, they had access to water when they go to graze. However, they do not necessarily have much access to water when they were being trained. Okay, because they need to maintain certain things. All right, so water was not automatically available during the store. Okay, so it was just during the training that they had access to water. All right, so if they were being trained, then they will have access. If they were not, maybe not. All right, so your store, what was good about it again? Okay, yeah, it was protected, so which means they were also protected from harm. The barrier is supposed to protect the trainer, and as well to some extent it protects the animal. Okay, so also the saline solution is not harmful. It's actually good for them. It protects their health. Right, things like that. So using the grave, the study has poor generalizability. Okay, because of the sample size. All right. So also it may be difficult to generalize to African elephant, because this were all from Nepal, and it's far. It's in Asia. Okay, so can generalize to other type of elephant. Now the study reliability is good as they use standardized procedure, including behavioral checklist. This means that another researcher can repeat the study. Okay, application. Now you can use secondary positive reinforcement technique to um, to train captive, okay, in the captive management of other species. So you can use this particular technique to train other animals generally. right? So example could involve disease testing in other animals, e.g. mammals and primates. Okay, so you can also use this technique for other form of training just to ensure the well-being of animals. Okay, so this will reduce the need to actually sedate the animals, okay, in order to be able to get access to them. So the animals might be trained voluntarily to be able to engage in this activity, this task, which is good. Okay, now validity is weak. The measurement of the outcome is subjective. The variables can be affected by the motivation of the observer and trainer, all right, if they were involved with the collection of data, all right. So be biased in one way or the other. All right, sessions were not recorded or validated by the use of inter-observer. All right, so it was just a single person. Okay. Now, overall, the ethics is very good. The elephants were housed in their usual place. They were not deprived of food. They had bananas. All right. Okay. So you could argue that the use of chain is unethical. Yeah. Or other training a wild, or that training a wild animal is unethical. However, using a standard set out, using the standards set out in the ethical treatment of animal, the ethics here are good. Okay. So other consideration, distraction. Yeah, the study notes that distraction during training and testing may have impacted the elephant's focus and performance, highlighting the challenges of maintaining consistent behavior. All right, so there could be distraction, be looking at other things that could have affected them. All right, so which means that distraction could have been an extraneous variable there. Distraction included animal noises, tourist photographing, an afternoon session near feeding time. Okay, there could be other things running through the mind of the elephant. Okay, this distraction may have affected the validity. All right, now individual versus situation, there were different behavior exhibited by the by the elephant. Okay, so for individual differences, elephant 2 quickly passed the task, while elephant 5 did not complete the task. So that shows that it's something about their personality. The elephant 2 performed quicker than every other person. Elephant's task did not even succeed at all. Okay, in terms of situational, the SPR training enabled 4 in total to be able to successfully practice the trunk wash. All right, so which means that the training was important. Talking about social explanation, the training was influential enough to be able to successfully train 4 elephants to engage in this training trunk wash exercise. All right, so reference Mr. Gregory Online, Stephen Ross. Okay, so my name is Paul Adebi. Yeah, that is the entire study, okay, on Fagen et al. All right, so please do well to like my videos, subscribe to my channels. I wish you all the very best in your preparation. Bye.